Hello, 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 hello. Hello. A little bit late. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a weird old day for me today. Let's check everything's working. Everybody can see me. The usual stuff. That looks... Oh, that's way too high. You can only see my bald head. There you go. So, welcome to the stream again. Today is Try It Tuesday, where we try out new stuff. The first thing you'll have noticed I'm trying out is my new glasses. Yes. I had some really bad eye strain after the last stream we did, so I've decided I should really be trying to wear these glasses at least, although I can't see a thing. Glasses and me new. So, what are we going to be looking at today? If there's anybody there. If there isn't, well, I have to do this anyway, so who cares? Well, hello, Asgrim, the Mighty. Yes, indeed, we are going to be looking at Psalm. Maybe this gives it away, right? Does that give it away at all? This is so... I don't like this at all. I can't... Can I, like... Yeah, it is a dead giveaway. You're right. I need chat to be over here so that I don't have to, like, look miles away. So this... There we go. That's better. So, yeah, we're going to look at Psalm. So, Psalm, as far as I'm aware, and we do have Asgrim in the chat, my good friend. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, James, who knows a little bit about this. Is that fair to say, Asgrim? So, Psalm is a static analysis tool for PHP. So, kind of, I guess, like the inspections in PHP Storm, except for standalone, so that you can run them in things like build, in Jenkins, in your continuous integration, blah, 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 blah. So I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. And it has a ton of these built-in rules that in my mind, and this is something we're going to find out whether I'm right or wrong, but I do have some kind of preconceptions here. That Psalm looks for things that PHP doesn't necessarily error on, but possibly should, probably should, maybe should. So yeah, I think things like it can help you if you're going from no PHP 7 strict type declarations to go in there. It'll give you errors on that and other good stuff. So I think really the best way to get into this, to see what kind of thing it does, like normal people would just read the documentation, right? But I think we should just like run it on some code and see what it comes back with to figure out where the value is and how it works. So yeah, all we need to do is Psalm requires PHP 7.1. That's fine. Everybody's using PHP 7.1 or above now, right? Surely. Maybe not. So we need to require dev. Obviously, it's a dev dependency. We don't want this going on to our servers. So we need to require Vimeo Psalm. It's written by the Fine Video website Vimeo, the developers over there. Then we need to add a psalm.xml. We can do that with a -i. And then we can pass in the source directory, which typically will be src in PSI compliant autoloaded projects. And the config level, where 1 is the strictest and 8 is the most lenient. I think this is going to be kind of important in adding Psalm to like existing projects, because I can only imagine if you added this with a level 1 to like a million line code base, you're going to be, pretty overwhelmed, I would imagine. So an example, we can say init source 3, and then we just run Psalm. So it's as simple as that. So there's a few projects I wanted to run Psalm on this stream, and if you want me to run it on your project, then that's completely acceptable. But one of them I wanted to run it on was Matt Brunt's project Cigar. Although I guess I shouldn't. If he's not in stream, then I should like not do this work for him. But I'm a nice guy. It's fine. It's totally fine. I bet Matt is in stream now, and then I'll feel even worse. So this is a smoke testing tool written in PHP. I don't know what that is. Smoke testing. I noticed that they've committed to the contributor.md. We'll come to that now. So let's clone this. Let's check this out, and let's see how this runs with Psalm. Totally cool. So yeah, this is a smoke testing tool. I think it hits like API endpoints, and you tell it what you expect. And you'll be able to run against those endpoints to say, oh look, I expect this URL to always return a 418 with content of teapot. So pretty cool piece of, pretty cool project. But let's check this out and figure out, do we fork this? Yeah, let's fork this. And let's check out the fork so that if we did find anything we want to contribute back, we can do it live on stream. So let's clone this. Where's my, there we go. cd bloop www. So let's run -rf cigar, because I already have one of these that I set up earlier, and let's clone a brand new one. And then let's cd cigar, and let's composer install the dependencies, and then I'm hoping we can run the tests. Like, if we can run the tests and they pass, I think this stuff is going to be a ton easier. I have beautiful Yorkshire tea for drinking while dependencies are updating. So if you have tea, now is the time to take a sip. Okay, there we go. Guzzle is abandoned. Well, there's a problem. I see a problem straight away with this project. Have I checked out the wrong branch or something here, do you think? Let's check the let's check whether master is a supported branch here or not. Oh, I didn't require it dev. That's one. Oh no, I only checked it out. That's fine. I didn't compose or require it. To pull via Docker. I don't know what that means. Okay, it's fine. I mean, I guess the test should run. The interesting thing here is if we open this up in PHP store, there we go, and then file, open, cigar, and then take a look at the contributing.markdown. New window, please. Oh yeah, I have this weird bug in PHP Storm. I don't know if anyone else sees this. I think it's because of the material theme plugin I use. PHP Storm does this really weird thing. So, you may set up Docker deployment. No, thank you. So the interesting thing here is that now there is no PHP unit.xml, which confused the hell out of me when I was taking a cursory look at this yesterday. Excuse me. So it's got a contributor code of conduct, which is a nice thing I always like to see. But more importantly is this stuff here. Fork repository, create a feature branch, install dependencies we've done. Cigar uses Calan. Is that how you say that? That's how I would say it as a Welshman, but maybe it's not how you actually say it, but that's good. So Cigar uses Calan as a test runner. The integration tests reside within the spec directory, so please make sure all test suites pass by running this, which we can run. That's great. So cool. We know how to run the tests now. Let's run the tests. Yeah. That all looks good. Whoa, look how cool this looks. I mean, I guess it's the same as PHP spec, right? It's just different, but it's new test runners. New test runners are always cool. I don't know what this is doing, but I don't really care at this point about what the code is. I just want to check that the tests pass, so that if we start making weird changes due to what Sam tells us we should do, then we can check that the changes we've made haven't broken the tests. Although it may not be that easy at this point, but let's check. So, okay, we've run the test. That's not what I wanted at this point. Let's get back to Psalm. So we need to compose a required dev, Vimeo, Sam. There we go. It's just me and you, James. It's just me and you. So you can shout at me all you want. And then we do vendor bin Psalm init, and the source directory is source. I didn't check, but I'm guessing it is source. And we'll set it to level, I guess let's set it to 1, right? Which I think 1 was the most flexible. So let's do that. So now it's created us a config file. I want to take a quick look at that before we do anything else. Close Pslam config. Surely Pslam. Huh? Didn't it just create us a config file, or am I in completely the wrong directory here? Typing is hard. Yeah, it did. Sam.xml. Am I in the wrong project or something here, do you think? Yeah, I'm in the joined in project. Idiot. How do I... Oh, there we go, Psalm. So now it should have created, yeah, there we go. So I guess this just configures like what rules should run, and external added files can always be added to Git. No, I will add my own files to Git. So I guess this says totally typed is true. Resolved from config files true. Don't know what that means, but we look this up. Project directory is source. Ignore everything in the vendor directory. Less specific return type error level equals info. Okay, I mean, we guess we just run this, right? Let's not mess about. So we just do a vendor bin Pslam. Pslam. And then it gives us 38 errors. Okay. Wow. I mean, I didn't expect 38 errors, but we've got 38 errors. One is the strictest. One is... No, surely not. Oh, one is the strictest. I can't read, apparently. So let's not run this straight on the strictest level. It's the opposite to PHP Stan. Yeah, I'd like to use that as an excuse, but given that I've never used PHP Stan either, then that really is not an excuse. So I guess we can just like remove Psalm.xml at this point and init it again. Vendor bin. Jeez, typing on this keyboard is so bad. Init source 8 is the loosest. Okay, now we can run Psalm. Okay, now we're looking better, okay? So no errors found, but some information. So some info stuff. So I'm not going to worry. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at what info stuff we have at this point. I wonder if there's an easier way to dump this stuff. Possibly. So info, possibly null property assignment value. Source async checker line PHP. Let's open that while I'm looking at this stuff. Hopefully we'll go back to Psalm project. No, I'm back and joined in. Lovely. So let's open. My keyboard bindings are all to pot. There we go. So, and it was line 26 to 38. This authorization header with non-nullable declared type string cannot be assigned nullable type string null. Okay, let's take a look at that. 26 to 38. 26 to 38. There we go. So I don't really understand what it's saying here, if I'm honest. It's saying that non-nullable type authorization header. Is it because we have no... Is it because we don't have like this in the property? So that when we're actually trying to set this to a positive... So I think this is happening, and we'll see if the... We'll see if this actually works here. But I think what it's saying here is that the authorization header can be null because our properties definition, parameter definition says, yep, pass in a string, this authorization header that its defaults to null, so we know that it can be null. And then we put that into this authorization header, but we were saying in the doc block that the type of authorization header is always going to be string. I think that's what this was saying. Let's take a look at it again. This authorization header with non-nullable declared type string cannot be assigned nullable type string null. I think, like, hopefully that's actually fixed this. How many infos did we have before? 22. So let's see if that actually fixed it. No, I don't want to... 21! Yay! This is like having tests, right? I'm fixing them. So yeah. We get a sip of tea when we fix that. So that's really interesting, and I guess that a lot of these are going to be very similar. Argument 2. Oh, this is an interesting one. So this is in source async checker, line 76. Oh, we're in that file, line 76. So we're saying argument 2 of curl note fixing type errors can sometimes result in new errors elsewhere. But that's cool. That's cool because, yeah, okay, I understand how that can, definitely understand how that can happen. But it's really interesting to see what problems this is catching. I'd argue they're having the wrong... I don't know if... Which is now failure. Let's take a look at what the next one is. I understand that these are only info and not errors. So these are the info level... what's the word I'm looking for? The errors. they're not errors. The info level information, there is an error level, so this is like really nitpicky stuff. But from what I've seen of Psalm, it is really nitpicky in places. So this is like, these info, typically you'd suppress a lot of these anyway. But let's just see what a few of them are, and then we'll start ramping up the strictness to see how nitpicky we can get. So argument 2 of curl multi-exec cannot be null. Null value provided to a parameter with type int. This looks really interesting to me, okay? Because this is where I typically see a ton of bugs from when I was doing real work as an actual developer. So I guess let's take a look at that error again. Argument 2 cannot be null. So curl multi-exec says in its definition that argument 2 is mandatory, right? It can never be a null. But the channel can possibly be a null. That's what this static analysis tool is inferring here. So it's, I guess it's saying the curl init can return a null. I guess. Is that what it's saying here? For each URLs to check as URL, curl multi, yeah, that's line. Oh, curl multi-exec. I've got the wrong line number. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, it's probably best to look at the right line number. It gives you like a big, it gives you a really obvious thing there. But it did say lines. I put 76. I put 67 and it was 76. Yes, I'm not infallible. Hey, welcome to the stream. It's me, Big Calm. Thank you for your help. Yeah, so running can potentially be a null. But it is a null. And I guess curl multi-exec doesn't expect null still running to ever be a null. So param still running. A reference to a flag to tell whether the operations are still running. Okay, so it's a flag. So my guess here is, and I am certainly no expert, that if it's a flag, it should be false and not null as the default. Yeah, I think. Do you think 0 or false? As green. Let's take a look. It updates the still running, right? By reference. Okay. Let's see if that fixes this. Let's see if that fixes this. No, there's still 21 errors. Argument 2 of curl multi-exec cannot be false. James wins again because it's in because PHP, yeah. Yeah. So it's got to be naught, right? Rather than. So that's fixed that problem. Now, my question is, do we think that this being null is a big deal? Do we think that that is a big problem to catch? My question, my answer is probably. It's more interesting to see where, so this code obviously works whether running is 0 or running is null, right? This while loop obviously continues running until it's finished, and then we have MH available to access. So is this a bug? Possibly, maybe, in this context, but it is kind of petty. But I could imagine that if you were checking is null somewhere else, that could have been important. Let's take a look at one more here, and then, because a lot of these now are missing return type, so let's take a look at one of the missing return types. Then I'm going to start ramping up the strictness to see what errors we get, because I think that's where it's most useful, I would guess. So missing return type, echo writer on line 14. So I'm going to open that in my editor first, so that because like we've already seen that I'm rubbish at opening the correct line. So was it line 14? Yeah, 14 to 21. Method echo writer does not have a return type. So this doesn't have a return type. And I guess it should be a string. I wonder if it catches it if missing return statement. Oh no, it doesn't return anything. Void, is that right? No, it is right, isn't it? Yeah, this is PHP 7.1. Let's tell PHP Storm what language we're using. So, because we've got 2 layers of static analysis here, essentially. We've got PHP Storm giving me my first line and then apparently not allowing me to click on anything. Let's add an interpreter then. I think I'm running on 7.3. Yeah. Now can I? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Apparently I can't change the language level though. That's annoying. Language level is controlled in composer.json. Is it? Is it in? Is that a PHP Storm change? It's like, it's almost like I used to like work there. Oh, it's a PHP Storm change. Thank you. I didn't know that. I am behind like on the release notes for PHP Storm. I'll be honest. So let's update that in composer.json then. Because why not? Because nothing bad can happen, right? From updating the language level. It's totally all going to be fine. So now we've said this returns void. That should get rid of the error. Now this is definitely something you'd want to suppress, right? Missing return types. If your package... Yeah, if your package only supports PHP 7, then you're going to want to turn those off immediately. Because as long as it's void, right? Because this stuff is all just echoing stuff out. Because this is a CLI thing as well. Missing closure param type. I'm interested in that one. Parser, line 43. Let's take a look at that. Sorry, I get sidetracked so easily. Array map function value, it doesn't... This function can have a return type, right? Is that what it's saying here? It can do that, right? Am I way off base there? No. Okay, so yeah, you can... Remember Psalm is minimum PHP 7.1. Yeah, but... I get what you're saying. So Asgrim is saying that this library that I'm running Psalm on is using is minimum of PHP 7. Whereas Psalm is minimum 7.1. But there's nothing to stop you running Psalm on your code base in like a Docker container, right? Even if you still want to support PHP 7.0. I mean, I think PHP 7.0 is EOL now, so perhaps that's not a great idea. But there's nothing to stop you doing that, right? Just Psalm needs 7.1, but it's not saying that Psalm needs 7.1 and only supports libraries that support 7.1, is it? Is it or isn't it? I don't know. But what I am more interested in is to see if we've broken any tests. Because we've made like trivial changes in my mind, but I'd be interested to see if that broke any tests. Sip of tea while we run our tests. This is cool stuff though. I'm going to be more interested as we ramp up the strictness levels. So it doesn't look like we've broken any tests. Hooray! Really, we haven't done a ton. I mean, I do think that curl options one was a potential bug. I really do think that like the async checker was it. I really do think that this is a potential bug. Like personally speaking, I think that types in PHP are such a pain in the ass that having types as they're expected is like super important. And I do think that is like really important. So I do think that's a potential bug. Hi, Svipernova09. I do know who you are, Svipernova09. Some people don't like me using their real name on stream. But apparently Asgrim doesn't care. So hello to you. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But let's get rid of the info now, right? So we can do, what was it? No. Oh, I forget. Let's just run Psalm and then it'll tell me show info equals false. Show info equals false. So let's just get rid of the informational ones. Now we have no errors. Yes, hello then, Joe. How are you doing? I get to see you and hang out with you in a couple of weeks. Woohoo! That's super cool. So yeah, there's no errors now. We've got rid of all the info, even though I would say that curl type could be a potential error. So let's crank this up. So I don't know any other way to do this. So it's going to be a rum psalm.xml and then a psalm I source. And let's go to level 2. And I guess we'll keep running it at a higher level until we actually do get errors. Okay, now all of a sudden at level 2 we do have errors. So what I'm guessing here is the level 2 Level 2 is taking info and putting them to errors. Oh, hello, Sam PHP. Welcome to the stream. And hello, Brunty. I'm mercilessly ripping through your code. And hello, MJ GeeH. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's your code. The only problems we've had so far, to be fair, Brunty, is the fact that your code is PHP 7 compatible, whereas Sam expects code to be PHP 7.1 compatible. So it's giving you a lot of return type errors. The error we did find that was interesting was your code said that running was null by default, and it said, curl multi-exec doesn't accept the null parameter as the second parameter. So now we have Sam PHP in the chat, and now like I'm probably going to be saying totally wrong things. But isn't void return? Oh, you can add them in the doc blocks. Gotcha. So you don't actually have to add them as return types. Interesting. So for example, we've got a ton of stuff here. Now I do believe Sam can fix a lot of this stuff though, right? I think there's an auto fix thing. Let's take a look at the docs, because that was something I was kind of interested in as well. So I guess it's dealing with code issues. So suppressing issues I don't care about at the moment. Using a baseline file. This is good stuff. We'll take a look at that when we go to joined in, I guess, because the joined in stuff will look really, really cool. Manipulating code, fixing code with Psalter, I guess. So Sam's good at finding potential issues in large code spaces, but once found, it can be a big task to fix all the issues. Yes, it can. Excuse me. So we can say vendor bin Psalter or vendor bin Sam alter. Nice. Updating code's inherently risky. Doing so automatically leaves them more so. Yes, it is. You're correct. So we can do a dry run to see what will change. That's nice to know. You can target a particular version of PHP, so we'll probably need to do that in this instance. And allow backwards and compatible. Make sure no great. Okay, that's fine. Save types. It'll only update PHP 7 return type hints with information Sam has gathered from non-doc block sources. That's interesting too. I don't think we'll need that here, so that's cool. Plugins, I don't care about at the moment. We may well want to. So I guess we can just like run Psalter with PHP version 7, right? And just see what it does. Oh, let's do the dry run first. So if my memory is correct, we can do Psalter PHP version 0 and then --dry -run. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. Specify the issues you want to fix. Okay. All. You know, y'all all right? Okay, so it's going to add these doc blocks. It's going to add the doc blocks, which is good. Yeah. It's going to add these return doc blocks. Should we just run this on the return types first, I guess? I think that would probably be more useful, right? So we can see, I mean, we could do a git diff, but this is definitely adding return type doc blocks, which is really nice, because we're using PHP 7. Run both. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Sorry, I get distracted so easily. Yeah, this looks really cool, right? So it's essentially doing a ton of returns. How do I find out what error is the return type hint to pass it in? So it's because it says here, oh, it's actually right there. It's actually right there. Thank you. So let's just run it on missing return type to start with. There's got to be a list of stuff, or it'll probably show me what the error is when I run the, when I actually run Sam. It probably tells me what error it is, so I can pick them from there. Okay, so we've fixed the return type now, right? Yeah, I don't read the docs, you know that. So now we should be able to do like, no, oh, I forgot how to, I'm an idiot. How do I run it without show info false? Let's get, okay, so now we're down to 6 errors. That's pretty cool. So now we've got possibly null argument. So let's see if we can fix those. And I guess we just do that by saying issues are possibly null argument. And we could have done this in one go. Sam doesn't know how to fix issues. This is so cool. Supported issues to fix. Oh, okay. So it's not just a case of copying and pasting it from the error type here, I guess. Maybe I do need to read the docs. Just started with PHP stand to help move a PHP 5.6 up to 7. Looks like Sam is a useful second level of testing. What I really like about Sam, which we should come to, is it has its own supported doc blocks that allow you to do static analysis much deeper, and also the tools like PHP Storm will start to also read those doc blocks, so you'll be able to be using your doc block type specifications in multiple places, which is kind of what's exciting to me, to be honest. So let's see if we can see what the error here is. Missing return type. I mean, we could just do issues all, right? Am I being overly aggressive here? Yes. Do I care? No. Done. Okay, now we run PHP Sam. There's still 6 errors found, so they can't actually fix these by itself, I'm guessing. So let's see if we can fix these ourselves then. Possibly null argument. So in parser PHP line 24. So I'm going to open that straight away because sometimes it can infer all return types. Yeah, I guess that. Static analysis is hard. Like, and sometimes it just needs to have like a human to actually figure this stuff out. So let's take a look. So we were on parser PHP line 24. Okay. Oh no, back. And let's see what the error is. You work at Vimeo, Sam PHP? I assume with your username that you do, but you know, I am assuming you work on this brilliant project, but who knows? Welcome to the stream then. It's brilliant to have you. This is 2 for 2. Last time I worked on Ignition and Flare, and we had Frake on the stream, and this time we have Sam PHP on the stream. That's amazing. So possibly null argument on parser.php line 24. Argument 1 of rtrim cannot be null, possibly null value provided. So this argument can't be null, but the code infers that it may be null. This is what's happening here, I'm guessing. Here. So here what we're doing is we're saying, oh, this base URL can be null, but we're then rtrimming on something that may or may not be null. Hey, welcome to the stream, Sebastian. So I don't know how we would fix this, because like I guess the constructor needs to be null. Can we just go like, can we do something bad like, oh no, we could do this, could we? We can do, whoa, I don't know if this is able to be done in PHP 7. Why not? Bull, not, can we do that? Will that fix it? Rtrim string base URL. Rtrim. Oh, so cast the null to a string so that it gets set to a, so it gets set to an empty string if, yeah, I don't know about making the constructor non-nullable because this isn't my code base and I don't know what it'll affect. It'll probably create more errors. Can I do the, do this? Is my way bad, worse than your way, or is it just different? Is this okay? What's wrong with mine then? Let's see if this works. I mean, I'm, you know, writes an RFC for a bull type now. Yeah, you're gonna get used to me making typos like that. It's totally fine. So now there's an extra error, which is great. Type does not contain type. String is always defined and non-null. Okay. You win. You win again, James. You win again. Base URL not equals null. Then rtrim base URL or null. Yeah, because, okay, that's fine. Let's just cast it to a string, right? There's not... Because casting it to a string will, like, just make it an empty string, if I'm correct. If I'm correct here. I mean, there's an error less. Let's check if that breaks the tests. That's the next question, right? Luckily this, yeah, see, does break the tests. I mean, we don't know if this has broken the tests. It could be the other changes we made that breaks the tests, but call to undefined method, Brunty cigar result get contents. What? Well, that's a weird one. Call to undefined method, Brunty cigar results get contents. I've broken it something somewhere, haven't I? Okay, let's get rid of this and see if it was the last changes that we made, which I suspect it will be. Yes, it is. I'm interested to see what else happened. What else happened here? To see what we've actually broken. So it's in async checker spec. So that's the test that's been broken. Because I fixed all the things automatically, Brenty. What else would I do? You know me. This is the way I roll, man. Come on. I mean, I didn't expect it to... I should have probably, like, actually run the tests after I fixed the first things automatically. In fact, we could probably do that, right? Yeah, shall I look at the code or shall I just do this in the steps that makes it more interesting? Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime scrub. Twitch Prime sub, not scrub. That's a totally different thing. Aranthil Madmortem, or Sebastian, as we like to call you. Thank you so much. That's pretty amazing. Should we take a look at the code and see if we can figure out what's happened here? So let's take a look at the test, right? The async checker spec. And let's see what it's calling. And then let's... jeez. Line 44. Line 44. And let's see if we can figure out what's broken. Hopefully with the author of this library in the stream and the author of Pslam.php in the stream as well, we should be good. So JSON just go to why is this? What is going on? So get contents is not. Uh-oh. So let's take a look at what the error is. Call to undefined method, Brunty cigar result, get contents. So this decoded content, so results should be an array of results, which is kind of... So I'm guessing at this point, results should be an array of result objects, and then a result doesn't have a get contents. Is that what the problem is here? Because I've broken it somehow. Get content types. How have I broken this? I mean, I only ran some... I'm interested. I'm very interested to see how this is broken. So let's just like check that reset into master. This is easily isolated to see what's changed. That's what I want to do this for. I want to run the return type hint stuff and see how that works. I want to figure out what's broken this, and then we can see exactly what's changed, and then we can figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, so now the results pass. So then we do a vendor bin Psalm init source, and we're using level 2, I believe, at this point. Oh, it already exists, so we can just run it, right? Oh, damn you. No information. My memory's so bad. Let's run it, then it'll tell me how to run it without the information. Oh, there are no information. Right, so now... show info equals false. Yeah, my way was much more intuitive. Let's be honest. More people should like come on the stream, figure out what I do wrong, and then change their tools so that I can do it right. This is too difficult. VS Code plus PHP itelifence shows on spot static analysis. Yeah, PHP itel IntelliSense, you mean? Yeah, but PHP Storm does static analysis. Yes. PHP Storm does static analysis. IntelliSense does static analysis. But I don't think you're realizing how in-depth this static analysis is. If you'd have been at the beginning of the stream, we found a bug, which I'll show you right now, which PHP Storm static analysis never caught, which was running is set to null, and you should never be passing a null in as the second parameter of a curl multi-exec. So PHP Storm isn't telling me that, right? But Sam's caught it, and type errors are the #1 cause of bugs in my experience. So that's kind of cool that it caught that. But anyway, let's get back to what we're doing. Let's not get sidetracked into an argument about VS Code. So what we'll be looking at... Oh, yeah, we want to fix these, right? So then we do vendor bin... Oh, let's just have a look in the history, right? Because I can't remember what we typed 2 seconds ago, let alone... So let's fix the missing return types first. Are we good to try missing the return types? So we've fixed the return types. Now we can run the tests and see if that's broken anything. I doubt it, because in my mind, I think that only changed the some annotations. Although it might have broken it. It might have broken it. Let's see. Sip of tea while we run the tests, as usual. I'm yet to find any IDE that has better static analysis than tools you run in continuous integration. That's the truth of it. That's the fact of it. Like, static analysis is brilliant in your IDE for catching, like, when I type, rumming instead of running. That's, like, brilliant to have that flagged up here. It's amazing, but you could easily miss that at the point of programming. And so having this running on a command line that you can run in a continuous integration environment is the be all and end all for me. HSTR might help you find previous. It's fine. I don't do this often enough, but thank you very much anyway. So yeah, the test's now passed that we fixed those return types. Now I need to figure out what the next errors are and what I ran that actually broke the last one. So missing closure type param. Let's take a look at the code and see if we can figure it out. It was in result, wasn't it? If I remember correctly. But this still doesn't have a... Oh, it does have a get contents now. It was being run from the async checker parser, right? So it was being run here and it was running get contents. So get contents is still there. So what's broken this? It's definitely still there. Let's do a dry run. So we want to do... Oh gosh, let's see if we can remember. Like dry run. Issues equal all. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out what it's doing. Did you say I can dump that to HTML as well, James? Or was that with a plugin? Get contents. It's removing get contents. Why is it removing get contents? It is actually removing get contents. So that's weird. What error does it see get contents? This contents with non-nullable declared type string cannot be assigned with assigned nullable type string null. So we know what problem that is. That is contents here, right, is not defined as being able to be a null. So that should fix that particular one at least. I want to try and figure out why it's issue all removes unused method. Oh, I see. So, okay, issues all removes all unused methods. So what I totally, thank you so much, Sam PHP. All of a sudden, the penny drops here. What's happening here is that at this point, Sam doesn't know that result is an array of result objects. So it thinks that this get contents is, so it doesn't know that get contents is being run on a results object, right? That's what's happening. So this is also a little dangerous. I was on the offence about accepting the PR. Thank you so much. No, that's brilliant. So it doesn't know. It should know though, right? So I'm interested to know why it doesn't know that this method is returning an array of result objects. Because the annotations look good to me. Brunty cigar result, assuming that that's... Yeah, it's in the same namespace. It's interesting the PHP Storm can't infer that either, by the way. Because, is it because we've got this return type of array here? Does that override this type? Is that possibly what's happening? Types are such a ball ache in PHP. Like, if you edit the config, you'll see. Okay, I will now. So I don't think either PHP Storm or Pslam knows that this is an array of result object. Using level 1 will... Huh? Why? Oh, I'm at the change list, that's why. Using level 1, so... Okay, let me not get distracted by chat, thank you very much. I don't think that either PHP Storm nor... Well, yeah, PHP Storm knows that this is a result object. I don't think Pslam knows this is a result object for some reason. Even though it seems like the return annotation is good to me. That's interesting. If you edit the config, you'll see using level 1 will show you. Okay. Where do I set the level? Oh, yes. This is interesting. I like it when people who wrote the code can tell me totally cool stuff. The spec folder isn't included. Ah, yeah, of course not. Of course not. Of course. So, that's kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting, Brunty, and I'm looking straight at you here. Do you use that... So what Sam is saying here is that there's a test that will... This is the test, yeah. So there's a test that will call getContent, but that public method is not used anywhere except for in a test. So are you only using getContents in the tests? If so, do you need it? And I'm guessing the answer is yes. But... do we want to run static analysis on all the tests as well? I guess we do. I'm open for discussion here, chat. Should we be running static analysis on our tests? I'm new to all this stuff, so I'm totally... Perhaps it probably should be redone somehow. It's been a while since I looked at the project. Yeah, no, totally, mate. I'm sorry. I'm very much enjoying judging you live on stream, but I know this is like... You volunteered, so a faulty test could provide incorrect results. I agree. I totally agree that a bug in your tests is giving you a false sense of security. That a bug in your tests is giving you a false sense of security that could be a bug, right? A bug in your tests could be masking a bug in your code. So yeah, I don't think it's unrealistic then to add the tests, add the tests to the project, to the inspected directory. Sorry. Doing this project now, I'd use PHP Unit for the tests with infection too. I like the look of Canla. Yeah, mate, dude. I'm sorry. I'm only teasing you. It's brilliant to have for somebody to volunteer for me to use their code like this. It's amazing, and I really appreciate it. So now we got 16 errors, of which there's some which are... Oh, look at this. Undefined function. Oh, okay. Of course we're going to get this because it's using magic, I would guess. Is Caroline using magic to give you these? Oh, that's a nightmare. That's a total nightmare. It's a total nightmare. So, yeah. My only guess is that Calan, is that how you pronounce it? Calan, my Welshness tells me it should be pronounced Calan, but who knows, is using magic to catch these. Don't use issues all when fixing the code. I'd ignore the folder for now, but use issues all fixing the code. Okay, I think that's a sensible compromise. In a production project, I probably would want to do that. So 10 errors found, missing return type. So these missing return types we know couldn't be fixed by auto fixing because we've already run the missing return type. So we could use possibly null, probably some. So one question, sorry, and I'll leave you alone, Sam PHP. I know you're trying to leave, I think, but can I use this as a parameter to pass in instead of all here? Can I do like, are these the names of the problems that I can like put into the, so for example, if I put possibly null argument. Yeah, that's not, yes, except for it can't fix the possibly null argument, so I picked a bad one. Nullable return statement, is that one? I like the way it gives you the full list here, but still. So we can try them, right? And they're not all fixable by automated means, but I guess you'd want to get this. Oh, there we go. Cool. So it's fixed another one. So we're down to, oh, it didn't fix another one because I only did dry run, idiot. Idiot! There we go. Right, let's run Sam. So now we've only got 8 errors, and now we need to fix these. Oh no, I think we didn't try that one. Let's see if it can fix that one. I'm guessing it can because it's redundancy. Nope. We'll fix these by hand because I'm really enjoying this. Missing closure param type. We didn't try that one. Let's just fix them by hand, right? They don't look like they're too difficult. So source async checker PHP line 26. I know what this one is already. That is the fact that the authorization header can possibly be null, but we're not saying in the here that it can be null. String. I guess you get in the habit of coding around Sam like you do with any other static analysis as well. I guess you end up going, oh, I know I need to think more about types so that Sam won't shout at me, which is always a brilliant thing. Argument 2 of curl multi-exec, we've already done that once. Argument 2 of curl multi-exec, bang. Possibly null argument. Argument 1 of rtrim cannot be null. We've already done that one in parser as well. Yeah, we just cast this to a string, right? Where will we? Missing closure to right param. Parser, PHP line 43. Okay, so this returns a URL, so we can tell it that it returns a URL, I guess. Oh, I just did something I really didn't want to do. There we go. Habit made me rerun PHP Storm's format code. And I don't want to put in a pull request. If I do put a pull request in, that has loads of white space changes, because that's a complete nightmare. Param types. Yeah. Missing closure param type. We already just did that one, right? We just did that one. Redundant condition given doc block type. Source parser PHP line 71. Okay. Redundant. Where will we? Redundant condition given doc block type. Doc block asserted type string can never contain null. Oh, okay. So what it's saying here is the doc block. Let's take a look. Let's take another look here. Parser line 71. 13. So there's a doc block somewhere that is saying that base URL can be null. Doc block asserted type string can never contain null. Okay. So, whoa. Okay, this base URL. Yeah, okay, we're not saying that can be a null, but we're saying it can be a null here. So it can be a null, but it can't be a null. Is that what we're saying? param types, not return types. Oh, yeah, here. I did it wrong. Okay, let's fix that. Param types, yeah, that closure. This param type here, yeah. Array map, function, value, and it should be an array, I guess. The type says string, but the code assumes it might be null. Okay, so doc block asserted type string can never contain null. It's because this doesn't say that it could be a null. So if, okay, I understand. What's happening is the code is checking if it can be null, but we are not enforcing that the string, the base URL can possibly be null here. So why are we doing a check? Why are we doing a check if something's null on something that we've documented as always being a string? I think that's what it's saying. It makes sense to me at least. So if the doc blocks or our documentation or our types in 7.4 say base URL is always a string, why the hell are we checking if it could be a null? You know, our doc blocks, our type documentation is saying it should always be a string. So why bother? Cool. Possibly null argument. So we're looking at result PHP line 90. Okay. Possibly null argument. Argument 1 of string cannot be null. Possibly null value provided. Okay, so this should never be null. Yeah. So we are saying it can be null, and the reason we're saying it can be null is because it can be passed in as a null. This is all types, and types are so important that this is super cool. So it's about thinking what types are rather than just like blasting them about, I guess. But we can do the same thing here. We can say like cast it to a string, right? Because it's just going to give us an empty string at this point. I mean, we could do that when we put it into the from the constructor, I guess. I mean, ideally what we should be doing here is saying like, instead of contents equals null, it's like an empty string. And say this, for me, this is the wiser thing to do, right? Is to remove these nulls across the board and say the string, the contents is going to be an empty string if they don't pass anything in. And the content type is going to be an empty string if it's not. One way of tackling it is how does PHP type juggle this value and make that explicit? Yeah. The defaults are the bugs, in my opinion. Yes, I think you're right. I agree. And empty strings seem more sensible. Yeah, this is really cool stuff, right? Because I've written code like this a bajillion times. And I think the reason that we as PHP developers default to null is because they become optional arguments, right? Then, so that then we can invoke this as dollar, what are we in here? Result equals new result, and then we pass in the URL. Oh, it's got to be a URL, so new URL, and then we pass in the status code, and then we can just leave that because we've said that these can be null. So then we don't actually need to go, oh, and this is empty explicitly and this is empty explicitly. Because we use null, then we know that we don't actually have to pass anything in if we don't want to. And I think we've all been guilty of doing that. I've certainly been mega guilty of doing that. Oh, sometimes I only want to pass in the first two parameters. Other times I want to pass 3 and other times I want to pass 4. But if I just say this is null, I can just pass the first 2 parameters and not worry about anything else. I mean, I know that I've done that tons. And this is going to break tests, I would imagine. Like, it might break tests because now, I guess it's still going to work because if we don't pass it in, it's going to be like just an empty string. So I think that's going to work now, right? So if we then get rid of the nullability in the doc blocks and get rid of the casting, because we don't need to cast anymore, right? Where do we add the casting in? Here. Did we cast anywhere else in this? No. So I think that actually makes it nicer. in my mind. I'm gonna run the test so and check we didn't break anything. We might have broken something if you've passed in null and then a content type, it might break, but it's fine. I should just use like vendor pin can learn. That's the person. Maybe we haven't broken anything, and if we haven't broken anything, we should have made Sam more happy at least. So that's all good. All good. Any tool that makes you think more about types explicitly is A-OK in my mind. Let me make that clear. Yeah. So what I'm going to guess I'm going to see here is that it's expecting a null somewhere, and it's actually getting a an empty string. That's totally what I'm expecting to happen here. Is that it's got where's the, can we compare these? Results, pass through, URL, status code expected 418, status code actual 418, content type expected teapot, content type actual teapot, that's good. Content type expected teapot, passed, false. I don't see what the difference is yet. 418, 419, teapot. Ah, here, null. Content type actual null, and it's getting an empty string. Exactly as I predicted. I rock. I am the greatest developer ever. No, I'm not. That's totally... I'm able to predict predictable behavior. And this is in what? The JSON writer. So let's take a look at fixing that. JSON writer. And it was in the... It outputs results if some URLs have failed. Here. And I guess it's going to be one of these stubs, right? Is going to be what it's using as the... Oh no, it's using this. Here, right? I'm guessing it's going to have to be like that. I've never used this before, but I'm able to infer what you need to do. So that's all good. Hey, Hurricane, how you doing, CLTub? Nice to see you. My mighty colleague at Twilio. Let's see if I fixed tests. If I fix tests, that's going to be like a red letter day. Maybe not escaped. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it's in... I didn't realize it was in a... Okay, here we go. Here we go. Like, how the hell do you pronounce... Herdoc? Heridoc? Herdoc? Heridoc? How do you pronounce that? Like... That specification. Herdoc. I think Herdoc, yeah, let's just make our mind up as part of a stream and just say, yeah, it's Herdoc. Here, as in, here is my document. I like it. I think we should do that. So, okay, we've still got a fail. Is it the same one? It outputs results if all echoes. So this is another error on the same test, essentially. It outputs an error if all... Yeah, I guess there's going to be a null here as well. Yeah. No. Yeah, here we go. Fixing your tests for you. Tests fixed as a stream service. There we go. I mean, I don't know if you want me to commit this stuff, Brenty. Totally up to you. I'm happy to do so afterwards. But, you know, it's your shout. It is, you know... I can do other pointless Hacktober Fest commits. That's totally fine. They passed though. Woohoo! Okay, so now let's run Psalm again, right? And we're only down to 4 errors. We get in there. See, that really helped. Sensible default properties. Sensible default parameter types. No, property types really help. Possibly not argument. Okay, let's take a look. Async checker PHP line 87. was 87. I've forgotten. Possibly an argument. Line 87. Argument 4 of result construct cannot be null. So this is where we've changed the type of the constructor signature for a result, and we're passing a null in. So like totally to be expected that we would get a knock-on effect from here. And it's right here, I guess, right? We can just change that to be yeah, but I don't know what... I mean, if your tests are good, Brent, then this should be an easy PR to merge. Like, if the tests are not good, then who knows? So the content type, what we were saying before is that the content type should be the result of curl get info on the channel with the option of curl info content type. And if we didn't get any content type back, we'll default it to be a null. But because we've changed the signature of a result, we now need to update that content type to the default content type, if we don't get one from curl, to be an empty string. I think that is sensible to me. Hopefully that won't break the tests. We'll run them again, but let's just run Psalm. Yep, that's down to 3 errors. Doc block contradiction on result line 75. Okay. Line 75. So, doc block contradiction. String does not contain null. If expected content type equals null, this content type equals null. Okay. So again, what we've done here is we've changed what the default content type can be, right? It can't be a null. Now we're saying the default stuff should be so if expected content type equals null, can it be a null? Yeah, we haven't looked at URL stuff yet. So yeah, that could be a null. Or this content type equals empty string. Does that look sane? Because we're now saying that the content type can't be null. It can either, it's got to be a string at all times. But if it's an empty string, then, you know, if it's an empty string, then we don't have, you know, there's nothing to check, essentially. But if there is a string, otherwise we need to do this check. So I think that's fine. I think that looks like a sane change to me, and we'll run the test now. Sam PHP says the code currently releases customs exceptions for code that maybe should be harder PHP fatal errors. In PHP 7, there are argument count exceptions, but the bad behavior was allowed in PHP 5. Yeah. Use empty in the if, or it should be triple equals. It is triple equals. Yes. I don't like using empty. I'm a big fan of explicitly saying it should be an empty string and it's a triple equals so that it's type string. Because this is what we're doing right now, is we're locking down the like types. We're actually going from fairly open, loosey types to like whoop, pulling the type definition declarations right down. That's exactly what we're doing. And if we said like empty, then it's not a great improvement, because we're actually allowing more types. That will be like a null or a zero or a falsy or whatever. So I think that this makes perfect sense to me. We're expecting content type to always be a string. That's one thing we've now enforced. It should always be a string. So if it's an empty string or an empty string of type string, that's fine. I think it makes sense to me. Okay, we're down to 2. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Okay, missing return type. So, writer interface line 7. Writer interface line... What? Line 7. Okay, so this right line error doesn't have a default return type. Now then, let's see what implements the writer interface. Quite a few things. We need to try and infer a return type here, I guess. This is difficult because I didn't write the interface, and so I don't really know what contract the interface was trying to do. It looks like it should be void. It's void, yeah. It should just be void. I'm not discounting you, Sam PHP, but Brenty wrote this code, so he knows what it should be. But we can just do that in here, right? Void. We don't need this. We don't need this. I don't like duplication in like we already have that, so why do we need it here? PHP Storm can piss off. We don't need to be documenting stuff in 2 places. It's my opinion. I'm guessing write results is the same as well. this should be void too. Is it not? It's not returning anything, right? Yeah, okay. Cool. Thank you. No. Now this is all, yeah, that's all documented. I'm sorry if you feel differently. I'm a firm believer of seeing the wood for the trees, and I don't think you need to duplicate stuff anywhere. Can you add the return type to the interface line rather than having it in the doc block? Yes, we could. Are you talking about doing this, yeah? Is that what you mean? Well, we could, but this project currently targets PHP 7, so there's no void return type at the moment for this project, so that's why we have to doc block it. Cool. But it's fine, you know, I'm not judging anyone for supporting... oh, no errors found. Woohoo! I'm not judging anyone for supporting PHP 7, but needless to say, Brunty, you owe me a beer for every month that this continues to support PHP 7. That's fine. So we've got no errors. So I guess we should run the tests again. This has been so eye-opening. I still want that kind of lilt. Yeah, I do owe you a kind of lilt. You're right. That was some years ago. That was some years ago. Okay, I'm off my tea. I'm now on the black on slate black G Fuel. Okay, so the test passed. I'm more than happy to make a pull request right now, or we could just ramp up the strictness levels and see what else it comes across, because, like, I don't see why not. Let me what are we on, level 2? We on level 2 now, I think. Strictness minus 100. Oh no. Git add spec and source. Git commit minus m fixed. Type problems from some Psalm level 2. Don't forget. Oh no, that won't work. Forget to follow Spabby at twitch.tv. Okay. Let's push that in case we want to merge it later, right? Don't forget to follow Spabby at Twitch TV, by the way. Don't you check what you're adding with P before committing? Generally, I do, but I looked at the files that it added here, and I was pretty happy with what I was committing. I probably won't even push this. I probably won't even create a pull request from this. Actually on stream, what I'll probably do is check this branch out later, do a diff, check for white space changes or any other crap that I've added, and then push that, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, actually what I might do, if we go in there, let's do it, right? If we are going there, let's take a look here. So what I might do, if I'm honest, is I might, like, just compare and pull request here. If I was going to create a pull request later on, like, don't forget to follow Spabby. Like, that's a big deal. Oh, no, it says it here. So now I might even just take a look here at what I've changed, if I'm honest. Quite often I will use, like, I will check the diff before committing, or particularly if this is a work project. I know that shouldn't make any difference. But, like, I mean, I'm checking this now, so I might as well create the pull request, right? I just find it easier to be able to read the diff in GitHub if I'm... I really do find it easier to read the diff in GitHub. This looks good to me already. Are we happy with this, Brunty? The trouble is that, like, a lot of projects that I work on won't use GitHub, and other projects like GitLab and stuff, their diff isn't quite so good. I mean, YOLO, I've just created the pull request, so that's all good. We're doing some good on stream today, at least, making live pull requests, right? Helping somebody out somewhere. I'll come back and check these checks in a minute. So, now I don't know how I raise this to level 3. Let's check the docs, I guess. How do I... Because I know how to, like, create... excuse me. And how to create a new Psalm. No level 1. No level 1. I don't know what you mean, sorry. What I'm trying to say here is that I don't know how to... So if I go to the Psalm... Psalm.xml, how do I increase the level here? No, level 1. I'm on level 2 already, ain't I? What have I yeah, I've confused the error levels again, haven't I? How do I, let's remind myself of how the error levels work here. One is the strictest and 8 is the most lenient. So what was I running on that time? I can't remember what level we were on. Is there any way to find out what level we just ran that on? Excuse me a sec. Oika. In Psalm XML, change totally typed equals false to totally typed equals true. Does that... So what is there any way to find out what level I'm on at the moment? Psalm PHP. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing I should have remembered. Bar. Keep an eye out for the Psalm-I I ran. Oh, so we're on level 2. So I went from... Hang on a sec. I went from... I forgot that 8 was the most lenient. So I tried to... yeah. No, I know exactly what I did. Afternoon there, Copper Beardy. How you doing? I know exactly what I did right here, right? I totally forgot, even though James told me not 10 minutes before, that level 1 is the strictest, and I went from level 8. Instead of going to level 7, I went from level 8 to level 2, because that's the way I roll, because I totally forgot that level 1 was the strictest, and I thought we were on level 1, and we went... Because what my intention was to go from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. But then I totally forgot that I should be going 8 to 1. So I went from 8 to 2. So it's fine. We skipped a load of steps, but we fixed everything. So it's totally fine. So now I just need to change this to be true, right? Is this the strictest, in your opinion, Psalm PHP? Sorry. I don't know how... It's because if it wasn't strict, it'd have a ton of ignore stuff down here, right? That's how it works? Like if this was level 8, it would have loads of XML down here telling it to ignore a ton of stuff. That's the strictest at the moment. Bum bum bum. I don't know if I like the evilness of at the moment. Yeah. So if this was less strict, there would be a ton of like ignore stuff down here, and there isn't. So we're at the strictest at the moment. So yeah, it's all good. So now we can just do like, let's see if there's, yeah, now we're getting into the weeds, is my guess. So mixed assignment, cannot assign content type to a mixed type. Okay, let's see. I like this. Async checker line 85. Okay. Async checker line 85. Hang on. Let's do this. Strict dust at the moment. Okay, cool. So now I forgot what. So I'm guessing here that we are using, right, let's take a look. So content type. Content type has to be a string when it goes in here. But curl get info can return a mixed. Yeah, okay. So curl get info can return mixed is my guess. So my guess is we should cast this into a string before we pass it into a new result. Because, yeah, that's my guess. My guess is we should cast curl get info into a string, so the content type is always a string, so that when we create a new result, content type is always a string. Yeah, I think that is what's happening here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the error again. I just want to check. So, where were we? Oh no, don't do that. Let's go back to this and then go back to the top. String is always defined and non-null. Oh, I've made it worse. Type does not contain type. I've made it worse, everyone. String is always defined and non-null. So what is the problem here? Let's get the original error back. And let's figure this out. Mixed assignment. So we're worried about a type not being strictly assigned correctly. That's what I'm inferring. We cannot assign content type to a mixed type. Yeah, because when we use it later on, here, it has to be a string. Cast it into the fires of Mount Doom. Yeah, I agree. Question mark checks for nullability. So what we're saying here is we can just like not even do that, right? And just cast the result into a string without worrying about if it's null. I don't understand. I have to run out, but here are the changes to get it to pass onto level 1. Cool. I'm going to look at those. I'm going to have to do what everybody loves me. Oh, here we go. Thanks for the parrot, Brunty. Thank you very much. Everything passed. Oh, that's useful. I'm going to have to open my own stream to get access to chat, because that's the way I roll. Let's pause this before we get Inception. Can somebody paste that link in again for me, please? Or I guess I could do it myself. Thank you. Let's take a look. Oh, you actually did all the work as well, Sound PHP. Like, I love you for that, but that's totally cool. Thank you, though. Thank you so much, and thank you for hanging out. I really, really, really appreciate that. So we want to actually say that this is always going to be a string in a var.block. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I do not know if I like that. Thank you for hanging out, Big Cam. Next week, hang on, before you go, I'm totally gonna make you hang around. Totally gonna make you hang around. Next week, I was thinking about doing what's new in PHP 7.4. Is that what people would be interested in? I'm interested in it to see what the hell's going on, but I don't know if there's any interest. Cool. I know you hung out last week as well, Big Cam. Thanks so much. Have a good day. And you can use this Trello board if you want to add any suggestions for what we should look at on Try It Tuesday. It's totally like free to the world. Free to the world. So, yep. Help yourself. Add anything you want to think about adding on the board. Sweet. So, now then. So I don't know what to think about this. This is where my point of contention comes in. I don't know. Did we fix that error by argument 5? Yeah, I think I just fixed it, right? So there's two ways we can do this, right? We can go back to what we had before, which is this. And we can add an annotation to say, oh, by the way, this is always a string. But that feels like it's like, yeah, I think I'd rather just get rid of this and cast it to a string. I think I just prefer this, which Sam kind of likes anyway. Like, I personally think I prefer that. And I'm open to be ridiculed and to be disagreed with. You know, on this stream, I'm all about the learning, and I'm all about people telling me I'm wrong. And as the people in the channel who've worked with me will know, I get told I'm wrong all the time. So yeah, I'm just interested to know. I think this is cleaner for me. I think to my eye, like, we've already got something similar right here. So we've set precedence in this script already on how we're going to handle like non-integers. We're going to cast it, which is going to turn it into a 0 effectively, and we're just doing the same thing here. I just think this is kind of cooler, and I think it fixed it, right? Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that's okay. I think that's okay, and you can shout at me if you disagree. Excuse me. I have zero energy. I went to the gym for the first time in like a decade, I would guess, earlier. Yeah, so that happened. I blame Twilio for paying for me to go to the gym if I want to. Like, it's not good. Gym equals refactoring body. Yes. Yeah, now I'm just totally exhausted though. Mixed argument. Let's get these cleared up. We've got half an hour. I think if we can get this, didn't you describe it as like being ocramous with facades? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to be nicer around Laravel's facades. Mainly because I'm getting a lot of SEO traction on the stuff that I'm writing about Laravel, if I'm honest, you know? Let's be totally honest. So, but yeah, God, I feel wrecked. So, I pass on apologies to Marco. Don't worry, he already annoyed me in our Slack. It's fine. Mixed argument, source output at line 50. Like, don't get sidetracked by chat. Don't get sidetracked by chat. Don't get sidetracked by chat. Output.php, line 50. So what it's saying here is argument 5 of the writer interface cannot be mixed. It's expecting a result. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2, 1. How do I move between results? In 1, 2, 3, 4. So this, what's the word for ... I never remember. I always say stretch, but it's not. Splat. Thank you, Brunty. Funny you mentioned the gym. I'm weightlifting fresh cream chocolate eclairs right now. Yeah, I could go for a fresh cream chocolate eclair right now. Yeah, so it's splat in the results, right? And in the interface, it defines that these should be of a type result. All of the splat, I don't know the terminology around splat and splattage. I know how it works, and each of these results that are passed in as ... should, as splat, should be an of type result. That's what I know. And I'm guessing that we have no way of knowing whether these are an array of results passed in. And maybe we can just say this. Will that do the trick? Because now I'm saying, well, this array is always going to be an array of result objects, and therefore this splat is always going to achieve results, right? Does that look sensible? Anyone want to... Do we need to look at how output results is called? Is that good enough? Should we try it and see? I guess we try it and see. Well, we got 8 errors, so it worked. I'm just amazing at this stuff. Like, people should like hire me to work on their projects and just fix stuff and just do all the good stuff. I'm awesome. So parser line 37. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Don't think that was genuine. Totally wasn't. Parser line 37. Cannot assign URLs to a mixed type. Okay. Cannot assign URLs to a mixed type. Why not? So, whoa. URLs is now a mixed type, right? Because we have no idea what is... Yeah, so why can't it be a mixed type? Why can URLs not be a mixed type? Well, we know they're not null. Why? Okay. What is URLs at this point? Is it an array of strings? We don't know because we don't know what's in this file, right? Should we take a look at what Psalm PHP said to fix that? Parse we're looking at, right? Function parse. So what it's saying is that this should be an array of parse output objects or null. I think we can define that the other way though, right? This is Psalm PHP's custom way of defining it because you can assign... Look above. Look above. Oh, this is a custom no, what's the word I'm looking for from real languages? Let's just say it array structure. It's fine. I know it's not that. So what we're saying is we get an array of parsed output objects of which we're defining how they should look here. Struct. Thank you. I know these words. I just don't know them when I need them. So this is a struct. This is how a parsed output should look. So here we're saying that this should be an array of parsed outputs on null, and it has to be null because we check if it's null here. So we know that this URLs can be of type null. So we need that. And then we're saying that each element in the array should look like a parsed output struct, and this is how a parsed output struct should look. This is getting into like Java-esque, I guess, realms, and I'm not 100% sure if I would want to go this far myself. I mean, we'll do it just because our aim is to get this working today. So yeah, there's that. So we don't need this param. We're saying it returns an array of URLs, so I'd keep that in there for sure. Throws. Okay, let's just like keep that too. And then we're going to say that this returns a URL should be an array of, what do we call it? Parser output. Parser output or null. I'm going to check your documentation to make sure that looks correct. An array of parse output. Yes, okay, my bad. An array of parse output. Does PHP Storm notice that? Does it? Undefined class parse output. It doesn't. We should definitely get in touch with JetBrains, see if they can get this supported, right? Because this is really cool stuff. This is the stuff that Marco Okramias bangs on about me all the time. So let's paste that in there to check that it's correct. So this should now fix it, right? Yeah, now we're down to 6 errors. I'm unsure where... Ooh, I guess there's nothing wrong with having this in your code. Like, there's nothing wrong with telling people how things should look, right? Even though we can't enforce this in... even though we can't enforce this in runtime PHP land, this is just informational. And there's always value in my mind in saying, oh, it's an array that should look like this. And ideally what will happen is that something like PHP Storm will start supporting this, and then we can go value, and it'll... Oh, it is giving us... Oh, it's probably giving us URL because we've done it here. So we've got, like, for example, connect timeout. Is it... Oh, it does. Look at this. That is some voodoo right there. All of a sudden, I'm completely sold. Like, this is... Is it because it's down there, though? Does it know it from that? Does it know it from there? Or is it reading the annotation? is because I lose that below. Yeah, I got excited too, Brunty. We need this though, right? If we get this, then not only is it amazing for like putting this stuff in anyway, so your static analysis tools pass, but all of a sudden, yeah, things get much easier. So if I, for example, get rid of that in the short term, yeah, I know. Now all of a sudden it's not going to give me hint in here. Nah. Oh, that was so close. I'm gonna speak to the people I know at JetBrains, because this now becomes totally useful, right? Totally useful. That's really cool anyway. Either way, that's really cool and I'm happy. Parser, is this out of date or is this new? Okay. I'm going to get this done. We've got 20 minutes or longer. Parser.php line 52. We were just looking at that, right? Okay. Argument 1, get URL cannot be mixed, expected string. So my instinct is to add a type juggler there. Type, not a juggler. Type changer. That's not the word either. Geez, my mind. Anyway, doesn't matter. To say that the URL is always going to be a string, because I'm guessing, if we remember rightly, that, yeah, I think that makes sense to me. And we're down to 6. Oh no, it didn't like that for some reason. This to get URL value URL. Okay, is it because the input of yeah. Argument 1 of parser get URL cannot be mixed. That's this here, right? This is saying that this needs to be a string. I think. Yeah, it is. This has to be a string, right? Because now we're getting down the rabbit hole of yeah. I really appreciate your help, Sam PHP. I'm like trying to figure it out, because this is like what the stream's about, really, is me trying to figure shit out. So I'll definitely look at what you've done once I've done it myself to see like how I should have done it the right way, so to speak. But and I honestly totally love the fact you've come and hung out here. It's been brilliant. I'm just trying my best to learn like by doing. We have the meme, the try it and see like meme on stream, where I kind of just try and figure stuff out and normally fail. But I think I'm on the right lines of what the problem is here, right? Get URL expects a string to be passed in. I'm just wondering why Sam PHP is not figuring out that value URL is a string, because we say it's a string here. That's what's confusing me, if I'm honest. I'll take a look at what you did now. Because surely by saying here that in this struct the URL key is always going to have a value that's a string, that means that the URL key, the value will always be a string. There's a nice thing with Panda when you add a return type to a closure, but Sam can infer the closure type in array map. Don't add param type either. What are we? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's take a look at what you did. That's that's the sensible thing to do here, right? Oh, so now so we're returning the array map, right? And you're saying that every value of this array map is a parse output. Yeah, okay. Return array map function array value. I don't really I'll be perfectly honest, right? At this point, I am not 100% sure what this array map is doing. So we don't need this return type, you're saying. That was number 1. The array map is running the callback, right? And we pass in the array and then we run the callback, right? So we're passing in the array of URLs. We know that this array of URLs is either null. Well, we know it's not null because we've thrown an exception here. So we know that this URLs is an array that looks like, that contains another array that looks like a parse output. That much I understand. So we're good. So in this instance, we're passing in the array of URLs. So value looks like a parse output, but obviously Sam can't know that because we're given the type here of array. So what we need to do is we need to say the value of value is an array that looks, no, is a parsed output. Is that correct? The value in this context is a parse output, because we know the URLs contains a parse output. So now we should be able to say, does get URL, the get URL already returns a string, so we don't need to cast that. I'm getting there. It's fine. It's fine. This is some complicated stuff for me. No errors found. Woohoo! So my only question is, why doesn't Sam know that value is of type is an array? Because we've said it's an array, but it looks like a parse output struct, given that we've told it that URLs is an array of parse output structs. That's my only question. Is it because we're hinting it on an array here? It's because we're saying it's an array. I think I would expect Sam to say, oh, it's an array, but I know that it's an array that looks like this, though. Does that make sense? Or am I over-egging this? What do you think? Anyway, that's cool. So do you want to pull request for this stuff as well, or is level 2 acceptable for you, Brunty? It's a bit of a bug. I don't think it's a bug. I think it's just like an edge case. It's totally cool. Like, don't think I'm criticizing an amazing tool here. Please don't. It's blown my mind today, as usual, on a Try It Tuesday. Do you want a pull request? I mean, we can make a pull request for this as well. It depends on the last one, but it's all good. I'm blown away here. Okay, so what have we modified here? We've done async checker output of the parser, and we've updated Psalm XML. I mean, less. I will criticize, and I will say it would be nice. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility to not have to put this here, because we've already it has already been inferred up here, right? And just because we're type hinting that this is an array, it doesn't mean that it can't be an array that looks like a parse output. That's all. You can remove it. Oh. Okay. Yeah, but then I get the 6 errors, right? Because it doesn't know what type these values are. If I don't tell Sam that that this is what this struct looks like, therefore that's what the type of these values are, then yeah, but I don't think I want to remove the array in the type hint, because I think I want to have the protection of PHP always expecting an array there. That's my point, really. I could very well be wrong here, but I feel like this is important. It's important for me to tell PHP that every time this array map is run, the value is an array, so that it'll give me an error in my tests or in my whatever if I don't have an array. You know, I think the array and the parse output structure aren't mutually exclusive, right? So, because a parsed output is an array. So this is just saying, oh, it's an array, and this is saying, and it's also an array that should look like this, in my mind. But I'm just wondering whether this can be inferred by the fact that we've already told Sam that URLs is an array of parse outputs. So removing the array type hint would remove the errors, yeah. Because then it's what's happening is, okay, let me prove that, right? Let's prove it. Let's try it and see. So now there's no errors. The problem I've got with that is that we've lost the type safety of having this hint in here. And I guess what's happening is that inside Sam, this array is overriding the type that's being inferred from the array of array of parse output structs. So yeah, you have the type safety with Psalm. Oh. Yeah, but you know, this type safety gets run every time I run my PHP. Psalm type safety only gets run every time I choose to run Psalm, which should be all the time, like in CI, and totally agree. But I will tick it. I will. I totally will. 100% ticket that. I would say I'll create a PR, but I probably wouldn't have the first clue how to go about. I'll definitely tick it. Promise you. I'll 100% tick it. I'll do it on the stream now. It's totally fine. So I mean, this has been amazing. I'm really happy with that. Okay. What did we do here? I guess before we do anything else, we run vendor bin Psalm, and we've still got the errors back because I didn't add the boop, 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 yeah. And it's up to Matt if he wants to accept this second pull request or not. Totally up to him. Let's run our tests to check that we haven't actually broken anything on the actual application. And that's totally cool. Are you going to be at any events soon, Sam PHP? Are you going to be at like any conferences or anything? I'd love to buy you a beer. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know if you're going to be anywhere. International PHP Conference. Oh, I'm not going to be there. I'll have to see if I can get there. I'm at PHP World, sadly. I'm at Bulgaria PHP, though, in November. I'll get in touch with you via Twitter or email or something. Thank you so much for your help. It's been brilliant. So the test pass. I mean, we might as well create a pull request. Can always say no, right? So yeah, let's just like, okay, I'm gonna do a -p just to keep people happy. Yep, we'll stage that, please. Yes. This is the thing that James always used to make me do when I worked at Rove. Yep. And yep. Thank you. So everything is committed. There we go. -p for people being happy. -p for pedantic. That's what I always used to say. I'm joking. Made pass strictest Psalm thing. Don't follow me on Twitch at Spabby. I don't see a lot of people like answering the subliminal messages I've put out today, by the way. Come on. So what are we looking here? We've done that. We get push, origin, GeeH. What's the branch name? Strictest. Super cool. And then let's get over to... I mean, I can't believe this hasn't been merged like yet. What's going on? Slackers. There's obviously a problem with this pull request because it depends on that pull request. I'm not even going to bother worrying about that because I can just speak to Brunty offline. And we can get these rebased or whatever he wants to do, we can do. So I'm just going to create this as is at the moment. Depends on number 41. I'll document it though. Let's just quickly check this again. Psalter.php is fine. Yeah, so you can see this depends on the other one. That's totally fine in my mind though. Again, if Brunty wants to merge this, I'll happily rebase it after 41 has been... Oh my god, it's number 42. Woohoo! I'll happily rebase this after 41 has happened and make this all cleaner if he wants to be merged. I don't know if I would merge this. I'd be interested to know what other people think. Like, I think the level 2 one, this one, I would merge definitely because it's really nice. My question is about whether people want to go all the way down the route of adding these annotations to their application. That's what I think is a big it's a big question for me. Like adding these little annotations to say, oh, this could be a string or null is great, but adding these Psalm type stuff, I don't know. I mean, let's we got like a little bit of time. I'm totally up for running this on a bigger project. What have we got here? So we've got like OpenCFP, or we've got joined in API. Anyone want to like see what this looks like on one of those projects? Shout it out in chat, and I will run it on one of those projects. Let's take a look. Come on. Do. First one to shout one of those projects, and we look at it. Otherwise, I'll just pick one myself. Open pixel art. We're going to look at while I'm waiting for you. Totally cool. Open. We're making a massive like pixel art by doing GitHub contributions. So if you want to make a GitHub contribution, if you've never made one before, this is a brilliant place to start. openpixelart.com. My amazing colleagues at Twilio are running that, and that is a super easy way to get an introduction into doing what I just did on stream there. Nobody's shouting, so we'll just do... Someone just say it. Put me out of my misery. Come on. Come on. Nobody watching now. It's one of those days where I'm just talking to myself. Okay, we'll do joined in. Screw it. Okay, vendor bin PHP unit, I guess. Oh, I got tons of errors already. That's not good. That's not good. Joined in. Oh, I already did joined in. Thanks, James. Cheers, my friend. It's very good of you. I don't know if I want to like fix errors first. It needs a config.php. Oh yeah, I looked at this yesterday and I couldn't figure out what config it needed. And I did read the contribution once. Let's take another look at this. It's fine. So readme local dev, right? The API will happily run under the PHP development server. Bang, bang, bang. It's initializing the database. Okay. I don't want to have to initialize a database to run the unit tests. So, readme. Is Joe still on stream? Supernova, are you still on stream? Because, like, you should know how to do this. Totally should. API tests, don't care. Vendor bin PHP unit -c tests. Okay, well, it kind of still, I guess we need a config somewhere. Like all the tests are failing because we don't have a config.php. Do I just create the config.php? Do I read the documentation? Is that going to help? These are the questions we need to answer today. Get up, tools and tests, API tests. Coding style, blah 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 blah. Inline documentation. I gotta get the tests running, right? It's kind of mandatory. Okay, let's just like touch source config.php. I mean, if in doubt, just create an empty config file, right? Undefined variable config. Okay. That hasn't worked. There's got to be some way of creating the config file. Right, we had joined in open here somewhere. Let's open it again. There's no config. Oh, there's a config.php.dist. What an idiot. What an idiot. Of course there's a config.php.dist. How dare I? I don't want to run npm and I don't want to add that. Okay, looks good. There we go. Okay, skip tests I'm okay with. So all the tests are running. Now we can... Don't read the docs. Just smash some code in the terminal. I mean, you worked with me long enough to know my methods, James. That is kind of... Yeah, don't even bother looking to see if there's a dist file. Just create an empty file and expect it to work. That's partly my methods. Okay, then we want a composer require dev Vimeo Pslam. We're winning. So my phone's rung. Nah, we can wait. I'll just drink some more G Fuel while we do this. I mean, I know it's cached, so oh, there we go. I'm lit now. Then we want to do vendor bin Psalm minus I, and we want to do source. And what was it? 8 was the loosest and 1 was the strictest. Like, I'm so bad. How many times have I checked this today now? How many times? 8 was the loosest, right? 8 is the most lenient. Yeah, let's do it at 8 then. Okay, so if I look here, we should have a psalm.php.xml that has like a ton of ignores in here. Yeah. So this is all the stuff we're missing out on level 8. Good. Vendor bin Psalm. Oh, there's a lot of infos. I mean, we don't care about the infos at this point. Let's just see what errors it comes up with. That's pretty good, actually, considering this is an open source project that's been contributed by a ton of people. I think that's pretty impressive. I don't even know what version of PHP this expects these days. Let's take a look in the composer.json, which should tell us that fact, right? Doesn't it normally say in require? 732, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, that's what I just added. That's cool. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So let's take a look at what we've got. Invalid pass by reference in router root 133. Root 133. So, what's going on here? Controller without namespace. So it's not like in this pass by reference, I guess. It's new relic stuff. Extension new relic is missing in composer.json. Okay, that's an interesting thing PHP's done. Set the import of an array to its last element. Yes, I knew that. So it's getting the last. So it's exploding the class name on 2 slashes and then setting it to the last element. Yeah, I think this is explicitly to try and get around the problem that you use if you use shift. Is it shift or is it the opposite of shift? That I can never remember. Not shift. Not shift, not shift, not shift. Pop. Return the last value of array. There we go. So, like, I don't know. I don't know if I just broke something or not. I mean, parameter 1 of array pop expects a variable. Yeah, so this is a problem I've always had while doing this. Right? Because I've always tried to do it this way, and I just end up doing, like... what are we looking at here? Controller without namespace. So, $namespaced controller equals the explodey baby, and then we put the array pop in there. So this, I think this is an attempt to try and like remove a one-liner in my mind. What was done before, array pop. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Delirium. I got there in the end. It's pop and splice, right? Not pop and slice, but it's fine. Yeah, I think that's what that is, right? I think that the code that was here previously is an attempt to do in one line what I only can do in 2 lines. That's fine though, you know. I don't think that's a bad 2-liner. I'm not gonna make this pull request. I'm just gonna see how difficult it is to make these get fixed. Missing file in source public index.php. That's probably because I haven't like copied a config file again, because that's the way I roll. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? On an open source project with multiple contributors, for me to just like find one real problem, like the database to PHP is not a real problem. That's the problem of me not actually setting this project up correctly. I'm, pretty impressed with that straight off the bat. Let's try like up in the. Let's go like, should we go to 7 or 6 or 5 or 7 or 6? Let's go 6. And let's see what happens now. Okay. Oh, we got some more. I mean, this is relatively good stuff, right? So null argument. Oh, now we're getting into the type inference that we just spent like 2 hours working on. I've said it before and I'll say it again. So many errors in PHP come from the loosey-goosey honk type system that it gives this a massively easy entry point. It gives the lowest barrier to entry ever anywhere. But when you come to then be doing complex web systems, types always bite you in the ass. They always do. Like, and it is just this double-edged sword that I'm totally not saying they shouldn't be loose types in PHP. But I just, all of the consulting work I've ever done is boiled down to like 90% type problems. And I don't know, I know there's some consultants in the channel. I'd be interested to know what other people think of that. But there we go. So anyway, argument 2 of joined in API request, get parameter cannot be null. So we're looking at user controller PHP and line 451. And what it's saying is argument 2 of the get parameter cannot be null. So this can't be null, yet we're saying it is null specifically. And that's because we're not saying this can be null, right? That's the problem here. And this comes down to probably this probably comes down to the fact that we're saying this is a string right here. Now, what we could use Psalm for, by the way, which I totally can do in a future stream if this is interesting to anyone, because I'm betting it would be, is we could use Psalm to remove these dot block type declarations and put them into the type declaration itself. That would be totally useful. But this is expecting a string and we're passing in a null. So in my mind, that's a bug. Like, totally that's a bug. We should pass an empty string in there. Like, the signature of the method we're calling is telling us what the default should be if there's no argument here. So we should totally just pass in what it expects, or just not pass in anything. One or the other. I think that's okay, though. I think we're good there. So I'll be interested to see if that goes down. And it does. And we're down to 3, and what will be 4? So yeah, I guess these are finding bugs in my mind. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh yeah, but is passing a null in there instead of an empty string really a bug? And I think it is. I think it's a genuine bug. I think that can easily come and haunt you in get parameter, because you're not checking if things are null in here, because you're saying it's a string, and if there's no parameter, it should be an empty string. And so you're then using this like default in other places. In fact, it's getting returned. We don't know where in the stack that's getting used. So I really genuinely believe like that may seem like a minor deal to some people, but I really feel like with all the code bases I've looked at, like that will bite somebody in the ass further down the line. I at some point that will. And I think it's just so cool to be able to catch these things like this. So then we've got user mapper, line 363. User mapper, line 363. I'd totally be open for updating this code base to PHP 7 type declaration 7.3. If that was interested, if somebody in the joined in organization was interested in that, I'd totally be up for it on stream. Argument 1 of array keys expects an array of array keys, comma mixed int provided. Okay, so user. Okay, let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. Expected array got int. So even PHP Storm can infer that this is an int for some reason. Because array diff. Okay, I don't know what's coming in here. Oh, it's because of this type int here, right? It's because the param is saying that this is an int, and then we're expecting it to be an array here because we're running an array keys on it. And we're also expecting it to be an array here because we're accessing... Oh, no, we're not. That's user, not users. Oh, no, that's user. No, it is user. Yeah, we're accessing it. I question myself then. We're accessing it as an array here. And so this is just a type int mistake, right? In my mind? People agree? This should be an array. And we could use that complex Psalm declaration method to fix this, but now we fixed everything. That's really, really, really cool. So I guess there's only one thing left to do. Hey, Hortus, how you doing? Nice to see you, man. Vendor bin Psalm minus I source level 1. Come on, baby. Anyone want to take any guesses for how many errors it finds at level 1? No? Nor me. Yeah, 2,386. I mean, we already knew that this wasn't using types anywhere, but let me make this perfectly clear at this point. I'm massively impressed by this code base. I think, in fact, let's be more fair. Let's run it at 3, which is the default, right? Let's run it at 3. I think that's fairer. 3 is the default, not 1. So let's run it at 3 before. I'm not judging this at all. Let me make that massively clear. So that's more reasonable, right? 130 errors. That's totally, doable to clean up. I wonder how many it'll fix if, we could run the auto fix stuff on this as well, right? But argument 2 of any set expects string, 0 provided, that stuff should be easy enough to fix. Argument 1 of joined in router version construct expects float, string provided. And this is stuff that will definitely bite you in the ass at some point. This type stuff is argument 2 of constructor expects an int and you've passed in a string. This stuff is, you got a strict type comparison further down the line. You're comparing 400 to 400 further down the line. That's definitely going to bite you in the ass. So this is all good stuff. It's all good stuff. We'll leave it there. We're 10 minutes over. Thank you so much. Before we go, I want to not pimp, that's a terrible word. I want to promote. Please excuse me. I want to promote the Trello board again. So if you have anything you want to see me try in on a Tuesday, on a Try It Tuesday. Next week I'm looking at PHP 7.4. Totally excited for that. Unless we get a better thing. Just chuck a card in here and we'll get around to them all. The stuff I'm excited, I want to look at Vapor and Breath. Laravel Vapor versus Breath, which is a different project for running Laravel serverlessly. Drupal 8 I really want to look at. Magento 2.x I want to look at. These have been user suggestions. React PHP and a functional PHP lib. Trapdoor's our game that we haven't looked at for ages, but I'm hoping we can look at that this Friday. I'm totally hoping we can look at that this Friday. So, yeah, pop on here. Add anything in here you'd like me to look at on a Tuesday. If it's your project, if it's someone else's project, if it's just something you want to hang out and take a look at, then do that. So thank you, everybody. Do we have anyone streaming who I know? Apparently not. Let's take a look here. Because I know loads of people have left this on in the background and aren't even looking at me. May even have me muted. So we could go and raid anyone we wanted. CLDub not streaming. Okay, let's just look at science and tech then. Science. And technology. Yeah, anyone streaming? Like, Dash Ducks looks good. Nobody's leaving, even though I'm like totally looking for someone to raid. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. I don't know what any of these people are doing, so I don't feel too comfortable doing it. Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. We'll just end the stream. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll have a blog post for this up hopefully by the end of the week. Take care.